Oh, well, hello. Oh my. I think it's Tuesday tip time. I think it I think it could be Tuesday tip time. That's what time I think it is. Come on in. Let's have some fun today. I want to talk about how to lose 5 pounds in 7 days. And it's going to be pretty fun. I know that fun and weight loss don't normally go together, but I think we should get ready to have a good time today. Today's mug is Ye Old Health Coach Institute mug. Spark the change. Hi, Candace. Hey, if you're just joining us for Tuesday Tips, type in, let me know who you are and where you're tuning in from. What's up? It's a pleasure to see all of you. I'm excited to be here in my officina. This is the last day in this office. I am moving to a new office. So Tuesday Tips next week, look for a new location. Very exciting. Hi, everyone. Hey, Victoria and Tavia. Jane, what's up? Hey, Whitney and Hannah. What's going on? Hi, Laura. Thanks for being here, everyone. Hey, Lauren. I'm super, super, super excited about today's topic. This is something that we teach in the Become a Health Coach training. So if you're in it, this is going to be very exciting for you to hear how I'm sharing it. And B, did I say A? That was A. The first one was A. And B, this is something that's so cool because it's completely free. It doesn't restrict the food you eat. You can use this trick that I'm about to share with you anywhere. It's like a magic bullet for weight loss. And it can work for you whether you need to lose 10 pounds or 100 pounds. So I want to preface this by saying this is one of my favorite weight loss tricks of all time. And also, some of you may know that I got pregnant, had a baby about 2.5 years ago, and I gained 60 pounds with my pregnancy, and then I had some serious complications afterwards. I think I actually gained more weight after. I don't know. I only remember my highest pregnancy weight. It was like one of the last office visits before you have the baby and they weigh you, and I told my husband, I said, you need to remember this number. At the time, I'm like, I don't want to know. Just don't tell me. But then like I said, I had complications, so I gained more. My body was super out of whack. I had issues with thyroid, adrenals, hormones, digestion, brain chemistry, physical problems with my head. You name it, I had problems. And so I couldn't lose the weight. But what I found that when I got my body sort of back into order, I was able to use all of the things that I knew to start to lose the weight. And I've lost about 40 or 45 pounds, and I have about 20, 25 more to go. So I'm super excited about that. And for those of you who are on a weight loss journey and thinking like it's never going to end, I'm never going to get there, just a reminder that I totally get it. It can be challenging, especially when you're in the midst of it, to remember that you will get there. And that this is a trick that can help you. So, and I would just suggest, if you find this valuable, if you find this interesting, to tag someone who this might also be interesting for so they can see this nifty trick. Because a lot of people have been asking me, of course, since I'm, one of the primary teachers of Health Coach Institute, how would you lose the weight or whatever? And if somebody held a gun to my head, which hopefully never happens, God, went too soon. I don't even know why I said that. Let's not ever talk about guns or see them again. Ugh. Anyway, I have to put that aside for a moment before my brain goes someplace rough. So if someone said, give me your best tip to start losing weight right now, that this is the one that I would start with. And the reason why is because, like I said, it takes very little time. It doesn't cost any money. It doesn't require willpower or motivation. It helps you lose weight without changing anything you eat. And you can actually enjoy the weight loss process, which we don't normally put those two together, enjoy and weight loss. So this is really, really fun. All you really need for this particular nifty trick is a clock or a timer, like on your smartphone. Mine's plugged in. And someplace to jot down notes, like a notes app on your phone, or maybe you're someone who likes to carry a little notebook around. So this is something called the 20-minute meal. And if you are watching, I'm curious to type into the chat if the 20-minute meal is something you are familiar with, if you're a BHC student. then you might know about the 20-minute meal. So go ahead and type into the chat if this is something that you have known about or tried and liked. Curious to hear your experiences with it. So let me tell you how it works. First, you eat anything you want. And I'm serious. Unless, of course, there's some sort of like medical issue where you shouldn't. Like if you have diabetes or stomach issues, or if you have some sort of condition where you need to follow certain guidelines, follow those guidelines for sure. But in general, you're going to eat anything that you want. And you might not believe me about that, but if you're watching this, then chances are good you might have tried every other diet out there. So what do you have to lose, right? What do you have to lose? Okay, so I see a lot of people love the 20-minute meal. Awesome, I'm so delighted. Okay, so now that you know what to eat, which is pretty much anything you want or anything you're allowed to eat given any medical conditions you have, the real magic in this method is how you eat. And this may surprise you, but when it comes to weight loss, sometimes how you eat is often more important than what you eat. Sometimes how you eat is more important than what you eat. So here's how to try the 20-minute meal. Starting with your next meal, all you have to do is when you sit down, check the clock before you start. Or you could set a countdown timer. That's fine too. Unless it makes you nervous, don't do that. But basically, the first time you sit down and try this, you want to eat your meal at the pace that you normally would. Don't make any changes. Don't do anything different. Don't edit yourself. And just eat. And then you want to check the clock at the end of the meal and see how long it was. And then you want to jot that down in your journal or your notes app or wherever. Jot down the amount of time. And by the way, writing this down is not about judgment, being hard on yourself. It's not about being bad or good, because let me tell you, the first time I tried this experiment, my meal was 3 minutes long, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3. 3 minutes long. So this is not about judgment. This is about learning how much time is enough time for your stomach to be able to tell you, I'm good, I've had enough, this is awesome. So, okay. So, and once you've done that, then you have sort of a baseline from your first meal. At your next meal, you want to increase the amount of time you are eating by 5 minutes more than the last time. So if you're like me, and the first time you sit down to do the 20-minute meal experiment, your meal only lasts 3 minutes, then the next time you sit down to eat, you're going to want to see if you can make it last for 8 minutes. So you're stretching the amount of time that you're eating. And then the next time you sit down to eat, you want to see if you can stretch it to 13 minutes. You don't have to do any crazy math. It just needs to be longer, right? And the idea is that the longer your meal lasts, the more you're going to get to notice the cues of when you feel full and when you feel hungry. Usually we're just eating so quickly, we don't have time to notice that. And you end up leaving a meal feeling we end up feeling heavy, like we have a brick in our stomach because we can't digest the food that we ate. Or you feel like you're still hungry because you're I wasn't even present when I was eating. So I want more, right? Now, there are some people who get really into having hot food. I'm seeing Sherry say eggs get really cold in 20 minutes. So if that's the case, then again, if this is you or you're working with a client on this, you just want to help them eat the hot stuff first and maybe save cold stuff for last. Make sure they have a cold salad or a piece of fruit or something that's not hot if you have someone who's super, super into hot food. I've never cared about that, but I know a lot of people do. So that's how you do it. That's how you do the 20-minute meal. And then once you get to when your meal is 20 minutes, usually regularly, you just keep doing that consistently. And if you do that over the course of a week, you're going to notice a significant difference in your digestion and in your energy. You'll feel so much lighter while simultaneously so much more satisfied because you will have enjoyed your meal so much more. So let's talk about the different levels in which this 20-minute meal works. So it works on an energetic level, because if you have been dieting forever, if you haven't lost the weight you want to lose and you're over dieting, but you need something, because a lot of times there's a part of us that really wants structure around food, and there's a part of us that really wants freedom around food. And whenever we're sort of struggling with a diet, it's because often the diet isn't addressing our need for structure and freedom. Sometimes it is, but oftentimes it isn't. And even if it is, you just might be really sick of dieting and need a different approach. You might need, I think the thing that's really interesting about the 20-minute meal is it's fun. It's a game and it's different. So you are excited to do it. So no matter what you eat in a 20-minute meal, energetically, it's like a different perspective and a new inspiration, and you end up feeling light and satisfied, and like your curiosity has been piqued, and that eating the meal was fun. So often we approach a meal and we approach food like, this is my enemy, and now I have to deal with it, and I'm sitting like at the table looking at food going, what damage is this going to do to me? So let's just take that all away with a 20-minute meal and enjoy a meal instead. Awesome. So next, it also works, this 20-minute meal, on the practical level, because if you've ever like tried to count points at a restaurant or a party, or if you've ever had to bring like special like bars or stuff out to eat, that's a drag. Like sometimes you can hold that and do that, and then after a while you're like, I can't do this anymore. But the 20-minute meal is amazing because it's free and it's easy. You don't have to have special foods. You don't have to change anything you eat. You can use it everywhere. And the best part about it is nobody's going to know you're doing it, because everybody checks their phone all the time. So if you happen to start eating and look at your phone, put the phone down, finish eating and look at it again, it's not going to seem weird. Is it now? No, it most certainly isn't. Okay. It also works on the scientific level, and this is because there's evidence that the same part of your brain that turns stress on, it also turns digestion off. So if you're super stressed when you're eating, you can't digest well. And what that means for you is that losing weight is not just about eating healthy food. It's also about being in the ideal state to digest and assimilate and metabolize that food. So the 20-minute meal helps you create that ideal state to digest, assimilate, and metabolize, because it allows you to relax and turn stress off, turn digestion on. Because often we have 20 minutes. Now, if you're working with a client, or you yourself, if you don't have 20 minutes, that's okay. You can always say, all right, I have 5 minutes. I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes, and I'm going to totally turn everything off and relax for the 5 minutes that I do have. And then you're creating the same effect. And the 20-minute meal also works on the level of like the fact that we need pleasure, and that our bodies are animals and we have desires, and the body's not going to be denied. And the more we try to be stingy with food, or the more we have no enjoyment in what it is that we're eating, we're going to want to eat more. You can have a meal that you hate, and then you're going to just feel sad. Whereas if you're having something you like and you're enjoying it, relaxed, assimilating it, really taking in the experience of eating, you're really not going to want to eat more. It's really actually quite shocking. The more you practice the 20-minute meal, especially as you're extending the minutes to reach up to 20, how, like, when I was doing this for the first time, I noticed around minute 12 or minute 15, I was like, I'm good. This is great. I'm pretty full. I feel amazing. And then you end up also eating to the point where you're really only like 80% full, because you can tell that you're full. So you don't walk away from the table like overstuffed, but you're very satisfied. So my challenge to you in this video today is to try the 20-minute meal. And to do that again at your next meal, you'll start. Don't change anything. Just see how long it takes you to eat. And then from that baseline, you'll add on 5 minutes and 5 minutes and 5 minutes until you stretch it to 20. And I would suggest doing this for 7 days. And if you're someone who's like, it's too long to commit, just try it for the next 24 hours. and see how you feel. And if, again, you know somebody who might be interested in information like this and this nifty weight loss trick, go ahead and tag them in the comments so we can share the love. Thanks for being with me today. I'm excited to be with you for Tuesday Tips next Tuesday in my very new office space. Bye, everybody.